Home Alone 4 is the worst Christmas movie ever made. Well, that's the intro. Hey guys, welcome to Vidmas Day 3. Christmas movies. This time of the year you sit down, cuddle up on the sofa and watch a lovely Christmas movie. It might be Home Alone, might be a favourite. The original one, of course. Grinch might be a favourite. Or maybe you're more of a person who likes Elf. These movies remind us and get us in the Christmas spirit. But what about the bad Christmas movies? The ones that aren't so classic. The ones that are terrible. Today I subjected myself to 4 terrible Christmas movies and I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on them so that you don't have to watch them. Please, if you did enjoy this video, give it a like and subscribe to this channel, as I had to endure many hours of torture for this video. Without further ado, let's get on to the first film. So, coming in at number 4, the first terrible Christmas movie we're going to be watching is Santa Claus the Movie. Not the Tim Allen version. No, that would be way too good. David Huddleston is playing Santa in this one. It is from the year 1985, and I have been told that this one is quite terrible. All the opening credits are loading now. I can't wait, it's like waiting to be shot. I don't know if it's just my screen, but I can't hear it. I don't know why they're talking so quietly. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I can tell. And I'm already bored. I think the point of this is kind of like the story of like the real Santa Claus, almost. Like there's this guy, and what he does is he goes around chopping down trees all day. So not very environmentally friendly bloke. And he makes toys for all the children. I think he's meant to be Santa Claus, but he hasn't got any magical powers yet. So we'll see what happens as he's dragged his wife and his reindeers out in what looks like a massive blizzard. They're probably going to get hypothermia in a minute. But his mission is to try and get to the other side of the forest so he can deliver the children their presents on the other side of the forest. Seems very reckless, but we'll see. I wonder how much these elves get paid. Or do they get paid? Do they even get paid? Do you think they work for free? Is Santa's workshop actually just a labour camp? I didn't know Gandalf. So it turns out that the Gandalf-looking bloke was just there to see Santa Claus off on his travels. Now, I think I've got to the problem of the movie. I think the movie's suffering from a bit of an identity crisis. It doesn't know what it wants to be. I'll show you what I mean. You see, like, 5 minutes ago, the film was this. We, for some reason, left Elfland, and now we've gone into an Oliver Twist book with a Santa that likes to drink for some reason. And then we flick back over to Elfland to watch a quick episode of 30 Minute Makeover. And finally, without any warning, we end up in, of all places, a McDonald's product placement. I mean, you couldn't have made it subtle, could you? Why are we suddenly in a McDonald's? The absolute product placement in this movie. We're back in Victorian times, ignore that. We've just had a McDonald's advert. Now, look at the product placement for Coke. Could they not have financed this movie any other way? This movie can't seem to decide where it's set either. A minute ago it looked like we were in a Charles Dickens novel, and it was like Victorian times. And then now there's Coke product placements, McDonald's, and we seem to be in New York, which doesn't really make much sense. I'm a bit confused, not gonna lie. Oh great, now Santa Claus is abducting a child. Then Santa Claus the Movie. After nearly killing his wife and reindeer with hypothermia, he gets kidnapped by some elves and forced into becoming Santa Claus. And then eventually one of the elves walks out, probably due to the fact that they don't get paid, and goes to work for a major toy retailer in the human world. And then he is in competition with Santa Claus. Santa Claus does end up kidnapping a child briefly halfway through the film, But we'll gloss over that. What we can't gloss over is the blatant product placement in this film. The amount of adverts for McDonald's and Coke is frankly disturbing. Overall, I'd say this movie isn't terrible, but it is quite bad. 2 out of 10, don't watch it. Moving on. For another day, another movie. I've just come out of editing like 3 videos for Vidmas. If you can't tell, I'm not watching all these movies in the same day. I'm watching them like one day after another because I really couldn't stand it. I've just come out of editing like 3 Vidmas videos, so I'm really not in the mood for this, but here we go. What we're watching today. So for the next film, we switch over to Netflix. Deck the Halls is what I'm going to be watching for the next hour and a half. It's from 2006. Apparently, I'm already a 97% match to it. I don't know how they found that out, but so far I am a few minutes in. The main character seems to be this guy, who is an optometrist, which is a bit of a weird profession for somebody in a Christmas movie. I've never seen a Christmas movie about an optometrist before, but we'll see how it goes. I have seen from the opening credits that Danny DeVito is in this film, and I am afraid that that might be the only redeeming quality. I hope it does get better. I'll fill you in. So Danny DeVito is playing a car salesman, and his entire family is in debt because of his... He tends to get into things and then not actually follow them through. So he gets his family into big debt. And his big ambition is he wants his house to be able to be seen from space. So he's covered his house in Christmas lights so that it can be seen from space. And his neighbours aren't too happy about this. Now he is driving his family even further into debt by buying all the Christmas lights in a shop because his house still can't be seen from space. He's clearly got some kind of mental illness. I hope the film gets a bit more interesting. To be honest, I'm not particularly sure what's going on. He's in a sleigh on some ice. Oh, he might be dead. I hope he's dead. Then the film might be over. And wait, hang on, maybe not. Oh no, he's alive. This film's gonna go on for a while longer. Right, so basically the plot so far is that like I said, the neighbour from across the road wants his house to be seen from space. So he puts loads of lights all over the house, and it really annoys his neighbour. And he keeps putting more and more lights on the house. But eventually now, the neighbours seem to have made up, so I think this film's nearly over. There's 40 minutes left. Somebody send help. Well, I'm not sure how long ago it ended, because I think I fell asleep, but Deck the Halls. So it's a Christmas movie about a guy who really loves Christmas, and he's like kind of the best at Christmas, and then a new guy moves in across the street, and he likes Christmas even more, and he starts decorating his house with all these bright lights, and generally just being a terrible neighbour, and this really annoys the first guy, and really it's just the most boring film ever. You know, you sit there thinking eventually something's going to happen, and it just doesn't. So yeah, avoid. I'm not even going to bother giving it a rating. I'll just move on to the next one. Now the next film up here is Jack Frost. Now this is confusing me a little bit because it says a heartwarming story for the whole family, and then it goes on to say, following the death of his father, a young boy is befriended by a magical snowman who turns out to be his reincarnated father. Now, to me that doesn't sound like a heartwarming story for the whole family. That sounds like a terrifying story for the whole family. But anyway, let's get in and see what it's all about. Right, so far there was a snowball fight at this kid's school, and Michael Keaton is in this film, which is actually quite good, and he's the father, who I'm guessing he's about to die in a car crash, so maybe that's not so good. But so far it doesn't seem too bad, so we'll see what happens next. Well, that's really heartwarming family entertainment, isn't it? You know what, I can really see why they said this movie was heartwarming and cheerful in the description. Kid is depressed because his musical father is never around, and then his father dies in a car crash. If that's not family entertainment, I don't know what is.
It's okay.
Well, this is just kind of depressing. I don't see why this was, maybe this wasn't the best idea. This is just kind of depressing. Now, I'll admit, the talking snowman is a bit creepy. Hey, it's not the best Christmas film I've ever seen, I'm gonna be honest. But I'm about halfway in and I can't see why people are complaining about it so far. I mean, the snowman's only just come to life, so it may be terrible going forward, but I can't see it generally. So, just to give you a little plot update, the father, played by Michael Keaton, like I say, he died in a car crash. He's now come back, like reincarnated as a snowman, and I have to say, he's come to terms with the fact that he's now a snowman exceedingly quickly. He's just gone, oh, I'm a snowman now. That's normal.
Hey, be careful.
That's actually attempted murder. Like, they've literally just thrown snowballs at him whilst he's on a cliff. That's literally attempted murder. So after all that, how does this film end? Does the bully kid go to prison for attempted murder? Does the snowman melt back into the sun? Let's find out. In the end, the father decides to melt because he realises that his son needs to give him up. Overall, I think this is the first movie that we've watched that I don't agree with the internet on. I don't know why people were saying this was a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I did think that it was a good movie. I'd say it's not one of the best that I've ever watched. I wouldn't say it's absolutely brilliant, but I'd say it's a solid 5 out of 10. And finally, for our last movie, we move over to Disney Plus, and there's a Home Alone 4? Well, I mean, I like the first two Home Alone movies, so I suppose this must be good. So, once again, they've got a brand new cast for this film. Home Alone 4 stars this guy as Kevin this time, who is not the Kevin from the first two films, and not even the person who played Kevin in the third film either. They've come up with a brand new actor to play him this time, who I'm sure will be brilliant and bring a whole new dynamic to the role. The first film that we watched was very confusing. The second film that we watched was very boring. The third film that we watched was about the death of a father. And then now this one, Kevin's mum and dad have got a divorce, and Kevin's very sad that his father isn't going to be around for Christmas. I feel like these are getting more and more depressing as we go along.
Or a sister.
But you don't mean that.
Yes, I do. I wish I was an only child.
Wow. I'm sorry that you're so unhappy. Maybe you should go to your room and think about what you have.
What's happened here then is that the mother has not learnt a lesson from the last time she neglected her child, and even though she knows that if she leaves Kevin home alone with Buzz, that Buzz will horrifically bully Kevin, she's still done it anyway, and when she does that and Kevin gets bullied and says that he doesn't like being bullied, then now Kevin's in trouble for some reason, which is also quite confusing. Also, at this point, where at Home Alone 4, you would have thought after the child's been left home alone 4 times, that some kind of, like, police or other agency would have got involved by now. So this one's interesting. The story to this one is that Kevin finally got tired of the abuse from his mother at home and decided to go live with his father for Christmas, because obviously his mother and father have split up now, and for some reason in the middle of this story you've got these two idiots who are trying to kidnap a foreign prince from the house. I'm not sure, I'm only half paying attention at this point, but I think there's a foreign prince coming to stop at the house and they're trying to kidnap him. What seems a bit weird in this film is that Kevin's father's house seems to be in a fairly remote location, so it's amazing that nobody coming and going from this house has noticed the van that's been parked outside for the last 2 days. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing a Home Alone movie that has clearly had no storyline put into it. But if people are going to make a film, they can't expect people not to nitpick. There's meant to be like a security guy who lives at the house, but they've kind of not explained why he's not helping. So a burglar has now broken in and Kevin's home alone, and they've not explained where the security guard went. Also, I know if somebody breaks in, you have a right to protect your home, but like, Kevin is like straight up trying to murder 2 people here. And also, he's acting pretty recklessly here. He's not giving a single thought to how this is going to completely mess up his dad's home. Like, his dad's got this massive smart house mansion, and he's just literally flooded the entire place because 2 people broke in. And where is the security guard that's meant to be here? This makes no sense. Like, I know he's trying to protect the mansion here, but like, does he think that his father's not going to be annoyed when he comes home and finds out that Kevin's turned the main staircase into a slip and slide?
I think we just need to figure out a way to make him feel more at home here. Maybe
Well,
do some of the Christmas things
you know what?
like trimming the tree.
Here's an idea.
Do that yourself.
Maybe if they want to make him feel more at home, maybe they should stop leaving him. In this scene, this bald-headed gentleman who is the caretaker slash security guard, he decides to go in the freezer to try and find Kevin, and Kevin decides to repay him by locking him in the freezer.
Dan, 2 to go.
And then he says, 1 down, 2 to go, implying that he is going to try and murder the other 2 people as well. This security guard will almost certainly die of hypothermia before Kevin gets back. This just shows Kevin's reckless attitude.
Do a cell phone, though.
Perfect, man.
If he has a phone this whole time, basically, little plot update, they're locked in the basement. Him and him are both locked in the basement. It turns out that he wasn't the inside man. It was actually a woman. Anyway, they're both locked in the basement. He has a phone, and his first idea is to call home and not to, I don't know, call the police and tell them that they're locked in a basement. And so this movie ends with Kevin casually murdering 2 people. Happy Christmas film all round. Happy family Christmas movie about child neglect that ends in a double homicide. Also known as Home Alone 4. As with all the films that we've watched today, I would not recommend watching this. It's absolutely terrible. So yeah, just stick. So that is, in my opinion, the worst 4 Christmas movies ever made. If you did enjoy this video, then please do leave it a like. Let me know down in the comment section down below, do you like any of these films? If you are, you belong in a psych ward. If you did enjoy this video, then please do subscribe to the channel. If you like vlogs, if you like travel videos, that's usually what we're doing around here, so do subscribe for more of that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.